With Phasmophobia's newest update, I have found that there's quite a few people that have some issues, including myself, with the UI for the shop and loadout. Now, it can be quite annoying to use. I found it was a little bit buggy as well at the very beginning when the update released, because previous loadouts weren't wiped. Hopefully for now, this can show you how to use this UI for the upcoming redesign in a future update. So I'll start with the shop tab. This is obviously the items you can buy, and then this here is like your shopping list or your shopping cart, where if you add something here, you can see the amount you've added, how much it will cost, and then you can buy it down here, and then just use the minus to remove it. The first icon with the box, that's how much you have in storage, and the next icon is how much is in the truck. Now these items here are the starter items all along the top and the flashlight, so these will show as having one in the truck by default, even if you technically have nothing in your loadout or nothing added to the truck. So these will always show in orange that you have one in the truck. But for the items that you want to buy, like I've only got one camera here, I've got one sound sensor, one tripod, you can just add all these, and then you can see I've got one of each of these in this cart and how much they cost, and then down here I can buy those items. Now there is an add and remove button to add I assume to add them to the truck, but I would recommend not using that here, since it doesn't give you the information of what's in the loadout or what's necessarily in the truck besides through this here. So I can go ahead now and I can buy these items. Now I do think that once I've bought them, like I just have done now, because I now have 2 cameras, 2 sound sensors, 2 tripods, it should clear this list out, especially considering you can actually keep adding these items. There's no need to only add one at a time and buy multiple of the same set. So I would say once you've bought your items, just clear this out, and it will stop you from getting any extra confusion once you're in your loadouts tab. So now over here you can see the loadouts tab. Again, it's essentially the same menu as in the shop tab. So the first one here is all. If you played the game previously, when the menu was back on that whiteboard, you'll remember in the old shop you could just click add all and it would add everything to the truck. So you can see here, this is essentially the loadout and the amount of items that you will add to the truck when you click this add button here. So by being on the all tab, it will add everything. So over here are your custom loadouts. Now I've only got the first loadout with items in it. So you can see this isn't what's currently in the truck. This is just the list of items that you have as part of your save loadout. Think of it like a creator class in a shooter game. This is just what you have set up ready to add for when you're actually in the game. Now this confused me to begin with, and I believe it confused some other people, but you can see I've got my parabolic microphone here. Now I can add this, and you'll see that it will add an extra one into the loadout. See, as I mess with the amount on the plus and minus buttons here, it adds it on this side. It doesn't change the values above. This is where I originally looked when trying to use this menu, and it confused me quite a bit. You can see I've only got one, so I'm only going to add one parabolic microphone. If I try to add another, it will tell me to buy it since I don't already own 2. Once you've added everything and you have the loadout that you want, like this is my loadout for playing on my own, so I don't lose too many items, but I have enough to complete objectives, you click on the add button here. Now you can see these values have changed, because now these are actually in the truck, and you can see it on this menu here. You'll see your equipment list is now full. If you want to clear it out, you can just click remove, and it will then subtract everything you have in your loadout from it and only leave you with the starter items once again. Then there's just the auto buy and auto add button. On your loadout, if you check auto add, this loadout will now be added to the game without me having to click add. But auto add on its own, if you use up certain items, say if you use up your lighters, you use up your incense, or your sanity medication, when you load in, you might not have these items because it hasn't got any to add. So you can also enable auto buy. So that means when you've used up consumables, it will buy enough to refill your loadout. Or if you die, it will buy all the items back to refill the loadout. And then you can see here, you also have the buy and sell. Now this is just to sell the items which you have in the loadout. If I sold this now, I will sell everything that you can see in this list, but it sells for half the price that it costs.